So hey, welcome back to another virtual production shared project live stream from us here at Offworld Live. So yeah, this is our weekly streams. We just catch up on awesome things that we've been doing in the shared project. And this virtual production shared project is just aimed to make it just a bit easier to just jump in Unreal Engine virtual production techniques. So we got this week it's just been a lot of cleaning up. It's been really good. Been making a lot of stuff over the past few months, and it's just been consolidating really and making sure it's all clean and looking super clear. So I thought just with this live stream I'd just go for a couple of things that we've been doing, but mostly just open it up to anyone who wants to jump in with any questions. And if not many people are about, then I'll just carry on cleaning this stuff up really. So yeah, I've been last week looking at packaging a lot. So Composure has some funny things with packaging. This project now, the most recent version that I've pushed in the last GitHub commit, will be totally packageable. So that's really cool. This means that you could package this so that it would run as a standalone app, and it will work exactly as it did if you begin play, you know. Looks like the mask is off in this version, so I can just fix that quickly. Hey Chipko, nice to see you again. Glad you could make it into the stream. It's usually yeah, I know, it's a scary one. I was off for a little while. Yeah, later stream today. Let me just fix this matte thing quickly. Recently, so yeah, the packaging thing is awesome. It means that you can now just, like, if you say you wanted to make a whole virtual studio that was fully functioning and then just send it to someone else to just play on their computer, that's totally doable. So yeah, that's all working. And there was just like a really minor thing that I found that actually a lot of people had the same issue. It was this packaging thing here. I don't know if I've actually set it in this version. So if you go down to advanced here, yeah, so additional asset directories to cook composure materials output. So we were getting this thing where when you run it normally, everything's outputting all good, but when you package it, it would just come up blank screen. And it's to do with these output passes. So say you've got a render target output, say you want to stream your composite out as just this texture, and then, like, you know, send that out live with a spout sender or something. If you didn't have that project setting set, then before it makes sense because it's additional asset directories to cook composure materials output. But I guess for some reason automatically it doesn't package in these output materials from Composure into your thing that you're packaging. So yeah, that setting has totally fixed that. So that's really cool. You can now make a render target, send it out via spout to another machine or something. Well, send it out via spout to the same machine or NDI to another machine, and that actually works a lot better now. So really happy we found that fix for that. It was clearly driving a lot of people mad on the Unreal forums as well. Loads of people like, why doesn't Composure output? But yeah, no, it does. So yeah, you could download this project and just get a version where all of these settings are set already. You can just change up this level, change in your own inputs and stuff, and that would all run fine. Yeah, that was the big win so far this week. Other than that, it's just been cleaning up really. So I've just got a lot of different folders, a lot of different versions of things I wanted to make, a lot of different tests, and I just want to consolidate it all into this V3 main folder. And then I'm going to have a podcast setup as well, maybe an AR setup as well, although it's like very early stages of the AR stuff. But yeah, just having like a portrait mode, phone screen type thing, and having a real life background with CG foreground elements, that'd be really cool. it's kind of working with the Composure system. I know Unreal has its own AR system, which is a whole different system to Composure, so might explore that as well. Composure might not be the best route for AR elements, but yeah, tidying up is the main thing really. So yeah, I just want to swap out this mat because she's in front of the CG elements, and this media plate is also in front of the CG elements. That just means my mat is turned off. So take a look at that. That is currently showing up, but I'm getting no alpha. There we go. Nice to see peeps in the Discord as well. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you've got any questions or anything. Yeah, just going to be tidying up this project really. Looking to make a nice release soon where it's pretty much just good to go. Like, start the project up, press play, good to go. Swap out your own inputs. What I might do for this, if this doesn't work, I've found just reloading these assets sometimes is the thing to do. So let's see, like, if I just go layer element, CG mat, call this CG mat 2, for example. Just do the same capture actors. Foreground. What's my camera saying? Interesting. So I'm getting no alpha with that. Strange. Oh, I just did a regular CG element last time actually. The reason I'm doing a regular CG element is because you get focus pools. So because we've got a CG element that captures specific actors, you can actually get foreground elements out of focus, which is really nice. You get a blurry mask that just reflects like exactly what the camera's doing. So that's very nice. Okay, that's there. We're getting an alpha channel. No, not. Pretty interesting. I'll just show you something else that's cool anyway while this is running. Just doing kind of preset buttons. You can press the P key and it just like flips up the whole studio. You know, it's literally just sequence of stuff, but it's just a really nice way to kind of dynamically switch stuff up. You can imagine like weather channel type stuff. Floor opens and then like, you know, it's like a storm suddenly comes in and like, you know, or like, yeah, you know, weather type channels or just anything where you want to switch up the studio. Well, this is quite a cool feature and I was just kind of figuring it out. I'm going to put out a full-on tutorial on this soon, but it's all just based on level sequences. So I've got these two presets as level sequences and I've just tracked in everything that I want to move or change. The video play moves, these meshes move, and then, you know, when you press that, up until frame 38, I'd say at the moment, on the first button press it's going to play that, and then on the second button press it's going to continue from frame 38 to go back to where it was. So it's kind of, I didn't know how to do a sequence that plays and then plays in reverse. I don't think you've got just a play reversed node. I don't think they've got a node for that, so I figured you could just do forward, pause, and then continue playing, which is the effect of going backwards again. That's how I get that kind of in out. So that's just playing to frame 38, and it's continuing the same sequence. It gives that effect of kind of reversing. So I've been doing that with my kind of animation selector blueprint. Animation selector. And what that does, it just reads any level sequences that you put into here. You actually don't need to put them in the level. You could either do a system where it reads any level sequences that are in the level, it's going to add them to this list, which I worked out the other day, but with this one, you can just put them into here, and I don't think they need to be included in the actual level, which is quite cool. So you could just pick any level sequence, as long as it's sequencing things that are actually in this level, then it'll work. I'm pretty pleased with this animation selector because it just sections it off really nicely so that all your animations are just stored in this blueprint, and then any controllers or level blueprints, they will call this blueprint. So another kind of change up that I made is instead of just to add more kind of modularity, is taking everything out of the level blueprint, so nothing is actually executing in here. So nothing is doing anything in the actual level blueprint. We've actually just got this pawn class. So pawn class is just like a controller, just takes inputs and then tells things to do things, or tells the blueprint to do things. So this is what's actually taking my inputs, and what that means is I can have the same controls in any number of levels, or I can just send this pawn to a different project and use the exact controls that that's already got. It's just a bit more modular, a bit easier to work with. It's been a bit of a learning curve for me. It's like telling how to make blueprints communicate with each other, and this has been a really good route to it. This is just my. You have controller classes as well. Yeah, you have controller classes. But for me, I've been doing it in the pawn class, and that's kind of acted as the controller. It's taking in the actual inputs. Don't know why. Don't know what that other layer is for. I'm sure I'll find out why it's there eventually. Why you've got a controller and a pawn class, but yeah. So for the animations, this is just taking in the button presses and just triggering this animation selector blueprint, which I mentioned earlier, triggering a custom event in that. So to do that, you actually also need to do. Do I have construction script here still? Yeah, so construction script, this is just things that you establish even before begin play. So when the blueprint is just present, when it's constructed, these are things that it will automatically do. So if you want to make like in-editor changes, this is really good for this. And then as part of the construction script, I've just grabbed all actors of class. Animation selector. I've grabbed the animation selector that's in the level, and I've just set that as a variable so that I can call it in other blueprints. That's what I'm doing over here. So on begin play, it's going to grab the animation selector and it's going to call this event, which is play intro sequence. So that means that when I begin play, it's just automatically going to play the first sequence. If we double click that, it's going to open the animation selector blueprint. And this is my custom event. A little bit over the top at the moment, I think. I think this whole is valid check. I'm not sure if I need it. But the idea of this is got this chosen sequence variable. So this will be in the animation selector. This will always be known as, the current sequence that I want to play. So when I queue this intro sequence, like custom event, it's going to say, is there a chosen sequence? If there's not a chosen sequence, I'm making a level sequence player that's grabbing from my level sequence array the first one in that array. And this level sequence array you can see in this list, the level sequence array. So it's going to grab intro, and it's going to set that as the chosen sequence. And then here we've got like the play two, the whole play two thing. That's how I'm doing that effect of like playing to a point and then like reversing. Yeah, if it is valid, if there's already a chosen sequence when you call this event, so if chosen sequence is already populated, it's going to stop that sequence. So it's really important to stop other level sequences when you start new ones, or else it will play both of them at the same time, and you'll get like an interp between the two values that you're setting with the level sequence. It gets really messy. So like stopping all level sequences is a really good way to just like flush out any that are already operating or playing. Obviously, if you've got level sequences that you want to continue playing, then they can't be part of this chosen sequence variable. That's cool. But then for the stinger, I wanted to show this, sorry, not stinger, presets. So got this trigger preset that comes from the pawn one, E preset. Oh yeah, and this is really cool. You've got this get all actors of class with tag. So for my level sequences that are presets, you can actually just search tag, and you can make a tag and just name it whatever you want. I've named it preset there. And then instead of getting all level sequences in the whole level, we can get all the level sequences that I've added that preset tag to. So it's just a smaller array for it to choose from. I've got 2 here, but yeah, it just means you got 0 or 1. It's just, I don't have to go through every single level sequence. I can just get that one. So this I'm loving this. Loving this node. And then we got the play 2. So, you know, saying the level sequence plays to frame 38. We can set that with this play 2. You can actually go and go. I think you have to split this out a lot. Yeah, so you have to split this a few times. Frame number value. Is that right? Oh no, subframe seems to be the one. So yeah, that's where you set the point up to which you want the level sequence to play. And then this is on a flip-flop, so the first time I press it, it's going to play up to frame 38. Second time I press it, it's just going to play the rest. You know, it's going to play the rest of the sequence from 38. That's kind of how I'm handling these level sequences. I've just gone through a few iterations of it. There's been a lot of different ways you can do this. But for me, this is really nice and tidy. It means whenever I want to... Excuse me. It means whenever I want to do level sequence stuff in whatever level, I can just pull in this pawn blueprint, and I can also pull in this animation selector blueprint. And then it's as easy as just populating this list. This list of list of presets, and I've got this camera moves level sequences, which is my kind of main one. So yeah, it's just become quite a nice modular way to do it. And yeah, obviously this is all available. You can take this level sequence, and all you would have to do is just add this to the level, set your level sequences here, and then you could even do it in the level blueprint. You could just go like make a reference to animation selector, and then off of this you can call all of these. These are all the sequences you could trigger. And yeah, I think it's just quite nice with this whole switching up the studio, you know. I think it's quite fun. And it's a bit less heavy than queuing in whole level changes like these. I guess they're not too heavy either, but yeah, it's just a straight switch, you know, and you get like the shadows and the lights kind of rebuilding a little bit. So yeah, I kind of liked this like this kind of other version where it's kind of adjustments to the studio instead. It's got a sense of transition. Hey Emil, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so yeah, with tracked camera stuff, you can totally use our toolkit for it. Something that's useful is that we have just the composure element that doesn't need any color correction. You know, it just represents the viewport right away. So with tracked camera stuff, you will want to go down the route of using composure. And yeah, our CG element does really help getting the viewport looking exactly as it does. You know, this composure version looking exactly the same. You actually do have to do lots of color correction work normally to get it looking the same. That is one use for it. We have our video plane placement actor as well, which is what I'm using here. So that's actually just mostly useful for static cameras. So if your talent is being filmed by a track camera, then you won't necessarily need this video plane placement. But what it is also really useful for is bits of media that you want to bring into the scene. So making sure your media is really crystal clear. If you were to bring this into your scene, depends on your use case, but really useful for that, for getting way nicer media on things like screens and displays, and yeah, burn-ins and things like that. So yeah, for track cameras, you would go down a more traditional composure route without this, you know, this video plane is meant to just like situate your talent in 3D space, and you can do digital camera movements. So, you know, things like that. But yeah, of course, feel free to download this project and like just play around with it and see if it's useful for you. It'd be awesome to hear your feedback on it as well. See if it's made anything a bit easier for you. Because besides the whole composure setup that I've got here, we've got things like that I was going through just now with like, we've got animation selector blueprints. This media output blueprint is useful. You can just press start or just tick this, and it means that when you begin play, it's automatically going to save a video or like a take out to your file, like out to your directory. So that's useful. And basically just worth keeping up with, because we're just always updating this project with just things that we find useful. Yeah, glad to hear you're interested. And I've been looking at these kind of global systems as well. Where we can kind of just change the settings of a lot of things in the level. I think that's quite nice, like the global control. You know, total vibe switch up pretty quickly. And that's again like really similar thinking to the animation selector. It basically just grabs everything that's in this level, stores it in an array, or like grabs certain things that I've selected to kind of change, stores it all in an array, and then you've got this like one place where you can control all of it, you know. Quite nice. So much stuff you can do, like so much useful stuff you can make by just storing things in an array, making it, basically doing lots of getting all actors of class or getting all actors of class with tag and things like that. And yeah, it means you can get really nice global controls over stuff and really switch up a vibe quite quickly. This light control one, this is all again in the construction script, because this is like, construction script is really nice for doing in editor changes. So none of this is gonna fire necessarily on begin play. Could do something slightly different for that, but for making changes in editor. This is really nice, and this is also linked up to like a remote control thingy. So yeah, I got this remote. This is really cool. It just means like anyone in your kind of studio. Is this the one? Let's see if I've got another one. Oh yeah, I'm in old. It's cool because yeah, you can like set up these really quick little OSC receivers, and it saves you like writing a whole web page or a whole OSC thingy yourself. Just a plugin by Unreal Engine, and it's just when you have this open, you now have these little eyedroppers next to pretty much every parameter, and it means when you expose that, it means you can now change these values remotely. So these things that I've got in here, I've already set, and you can go launch web app, and it will open up this little web app for you. And this is actually just all IP address based, so you could just go, I can't remember what exactly, I think it's like this part of the thingy, you could just type that in your phone as well, and it will bring up this exact same web app if you're on the same network. And then this means like we can like change all these values from the web. You know, if you're talking like studio with multiple users, you could have someone working the lights while the other one's on the camera. Really cool. Obviously, if you want to get really specific with it, you need to set out your own parameters and stuff, but it's really like really quite intuitive tool setup. Just another like fun thing. I was trying to trigger like animations and stuff on this. It's actually quite not really set out for this. I think you mostly want to do in editor stuff using this this web app because it's yeah, I don't know what exactly. It's like it's all parameters. It's all changing parameters and even moving cameras around. Like you do have little joysticks. Got like a joystick kind of option. I think maybe for like this one, if I change this to joysticks, you can actually use joysticks for this stuff. But it's not like it's not super smooth. It's not like you're playing a game. I guess it's because it's like sending it across the network. It's not going to be the smoothest. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. So I was like, oh wow, I can do like all my controlling from here, and it's gonna save me loads of screen space. Like, you know, I'm not gonna have. I can do this just on another device. But it is mostly in editor stuff, really. I think. Yeah, I was even looking at even triggering level sequences is quite tricky. So yeah. That is not the default. So yeah, I'm just gonna carry on like cleaning up some bits. Am I in the right part of the repo? Cool. This is just like a light system test I had. Does this work if you drag it into the level, into another level? No, it kind of becomes unbound. That's something to note for sure, that like a remote control thing, I guess it's just taking these eyedroppers that you've picked in the exact level. So it's not, it's got to be for the exact level that you're making. That's useful to note. But might want this blueprint. Right? Keep it in here, just kind of interesting. Move this to blueprints. Put composure, additional VPs. Do just blueprints. Level sequence player I'm not using at the moment. This is the previous draft. Yeah, that's just not needed. Control. Good. Actually, can't undo that. Good thing I've got version control. But I think that's all good. I'm going to remove this for this version anyway. But awesome thing about source control, discard that. I'm just undoing the delete. That should be back now. I literally love that about GitHub at the moment. It takes the pressure off like handling a big project. Like you can just undo even file changes. Super cool. Yeah, it's back. So yeah, what I had here, I did have a solution for using the remote control to queue sequences. Whoa, that's bright. Cool. I'm not going to keep this level anyway. Like exposure. We had this. Okay, looks like I haven't got the whole queuing system on here anyway, so I can just get rid of this one. Yeah, it's cool to note that as long as you're in the right level, then the remote control will work. I was also finding like its values like this, like you can actually slide this like a lot smoother in the remote control app than you can in here, which is really weird. So like scale height doesn't really let me like scrub it. It's super freezy. But over here, scale height, smooth. Don't really know why that is. Hey, thanks for the question. Ideal specs for virtual production. I know in general the frame rate to aim for is 50 frames per second. And then a lot of people are just using the maximum specs they can to give them the most headroom for doing cool things in their scene. So if you're talking TV or broadcast, you ideally want 50 frames per second. See, even in this scene, I'm running at like 34. Maybe I'm not sure what this level's going to do, but on begin play, tends to go up a little bit. That one's not. This is a random ass level. I can try a different level. But like as for computer, I mean, I'm running a 3070 Ti, and not the highest spec machine, but you're gonna want like a 30 series GPU, if not a 40. The most you can throw at it, ideally. We're doing like incredibly resource heavy stuff here. This is like you want the most. We're really pushing, you know, anything that's doing real time graphics. Yeah, 64 gig RAM is good for sure. Yeah, definitely, I would say sufficient. And then just the most powerful GPU you can chuck on it. What do I get once we're running? Getting a pretty flat 30 here, which, you know, depends on your use cases, but this would be too much going on for most TV level virtual production kind of stuff. But as I say, I'm running fairly old graphics card at this point. But yeah, basically the most you can throw at it, I would say. Just, you know, you're replicating the whole 3D scene at least twice. I'm doing it. Okay, so I've got 2 extra mats here that I don't need. Hopefully that would give me a few more frames. Ooh, nearly around 50 now, so that's nearly broadcast ready. But yeah, you know, every time you add like a new CG element like this, you're totally replicating. You're making the graphics card render the same thing twice, you know, and that's just going to be super resource heavy. Looking at ways to get around composure down the line, because it's just like almost just quite a silly way to do it. It's totally replicating the viewport. We want to try and get media plates into the 3D space. Looking nice. Read something like that, but having a problem matching the color when importing a PNG sequence. I do color correction in Premiere or Post. Yeah, fair enough. It could be a color space thing as well. I don't know if you've looked into OCIO and color spaces, but you sometimes have to down here set a color conversion kind of pass. Like here, open color IO pass, and you need to like load in an open color IO config, and it's literally, it's not like a levels or saturation or gamma change. There's not a change that you can do that would make it absolutely match. It's actually just your camera is working in a total different color space to what Unreal Engine is working in. So if you're not getting the exact match that you need, you might have to do something like that. I've got some tutorials out there on open color IO configs and converting those over. There's also this guy. Here he is. This guy has done some amazing work. Jake G. Water has gone really deep dive into understanding OCIO. Yeah, understanding OCIO and color spaces gets pretty deep, but yeah, here he shows like installing it, downloading the right ones. It's also quite hard to find the exact right ones. I found that go for the nuke defaults. So if you're in the OCIO website, it gives you loads and loads of options for what to download. The downloads, you got the ACES configs. I'm just trying to show you. Yeah, you got things like this, like Canon log, you know, and it's like LUTs, like lookup tables, exactly the same thing. Yeah, this is free. OCIO is totally free. Yeah, I was struggling to find just really standard. You want to convert things from your particular camera that you shot on into Unreal Engine's color space, which is linear. And then on the output, you want to convert everything. You can actually do the output pass. No, sorry, transform pass in this overarching comp. You can set that to change the OCIO from linear back out to your monitor's color space. There's like a whole other step. I guess they keep it open because people might want to go out to different monitors or come in from different cameras. So good they've kept it open. But a lot of things like Axiometry or like big paid virtual production softwares, they will kind of do this automatically, which is pretty big. I don't really know how they do that, but that's what you pay for, I guess. But yeah, here in this manual world of Unreal Engine, we have to do this OCIO conversion ourselves. Yeah. As for checking it out in Sequencer, I know you can add in PNG sequences into Sequencer. I think I've got an example here. Wait for it to crash and restart. Yep, still works with green screen. It's just like adding a stack of effects in After Effects or something, you know? I would do your color conversion first, I'm pretty sure. You do color conversion as like an effect or a transform pass as they're called in Composure. And then once you've got the colors looking how you want them to look in the engine, then you would do your keying as your next effect or transform pass. Yeah, I don't really see it as a problem anymore. It's just a regular thing. I know it's because I've got this really heavy comp here and I'm just going from one level with a heavy comp into another level that's got the same thing. It's like totally. You think crashing less in 5.3? That's interesting. Yeah. They did a hotfix recently as well, so worth looking out for. There's big list of all the recent 5.3, so 5.3.1. Is that right? I guess September 27th, a little while ago now. I think that's the version I've got actually. Yeah, a few crash fixes there as a yeah. I've got these really terrible examples, but yeah, totally. Madchill is right. Resolve. It's still super recommended to do like grade it, like you know your color grading and stuff, and stuff like that in Resolve. Also keying. You really want to. It's kind of advised if you're going super pro with this to get pre-keyed media if you can. Unreal Engine's keyers just like aren't the best. Not got loads of options for what you can do. I think you can like make your own materials for this stuff, but what you get with it, you don't actually get loads of stuff. So find like a Blackmagic or an Atom Mini or something, and pre-keying your media, you can totally bring in pre-keyed media into this. And yeah, it would take in the alpha channel and stuff. Yeah, I was going to show you PNG sequences. So I was doing it with stingers. I thought this was quite fun. Let me open this. Yeah, so I've just got this stinger, which is a PNG sequence. You know, I just like selected that. It was just from a list here. And then you can get that playing. This is now here, but I've also got a level sequence called level sequence stinger playback. And all this has is a media track. You can go media track, and then you can go, you add the media. I think that's right, yeah, media source. You can pick your stinger. And then also you need to go here and select the media texture player for the stinger. But now what this means is I've got a playhead. Got a playhead that shows when the stinger comes in, and I can preview that, you know, and I can just control where it is in the sequence as well. So yeah, it's quite nice to know that you can just control media sequences like that with the playhead. And then also you can use that to queue in your media. So I've got this stinger just loaded as one of my layers in my whole kind of composure comp. And see if I can just preview this for you. I don't know why my masks are being weird. So yeah, is it S key for stinger? Oh, okay, it was 4. Yeah, now that just comes over the screen whenever I press the 4 key. So I could do something like press 4 and then change camera angle. Oh, okay, it doesn't like that. Oh yeah, I remember. So I can do press 4 and then like change the whole environment. And then you've got a stinger that kind of covers up any loading or anything that's going on. And that's just very, very simply just on 2 different button presses, but you could make it a bit more complex than that if you wanted. Yeah, just quite cool that you can. I know they've got Project Avalanche coming out at the moment, so that's gonna handle a lot of this kind of 2D motion graphics stuff a lot better. But for now, you can kind of do it in Composure as well if it's just added as a media plate. And yeah, just all queued with like level sequences. Very simple. I mean, quite tricky to work out, but from like a non-Unreal Engine background, but programming wise, pretty simple to just sort of queue some level sequences. And you know, like same goes for like lower thirds. Like you could have like a PNG sequence for a lower third or something, and you know, instead of just covering the whole screen, it would be, you know, the same. It would just be like graphic comes in, but just comes in at the bottom of the screen. And it's kind of up to you to make the system for people to kind of input different things into these lower thirds and stuff. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Keep it modular. Yeah, I don't know why my I don't know why my mats have been playing up in this. 209 for 5.2. I've just been doing some like general project cleanup, but anyone tuning in later on in here, thanks for tuning in, by the way. Really cool to see people here and interested. Yeah, just this project is just aimed to just be a place to just put all of these blueprints and things and all of these configs, you know, preset configs, and hopefully just make it a bit easier for people to just jump in and download this project and just give this stuff a go. Yeah, this is all just touring like this shared project that we've been making. So it's just we've just seen that lots of people have jumped into VP kind of stuff and the whole kind of composure system where, you know, layering. It's just, I mean, you might not know, composure is just this like complex system for layering 2D layers basically that you're capturing from the 3D scene. And this can just get quite complex, so we're just trying to make these like preset configs for people to just, you know, just download the project, switch in your own piece of media, your own talent, and then just have a really nice like template for people to work with. So you can just get going in this stuff a lot quicker. And this is just totally free and like free for commercial use as well. Still have to buy a license to the Toolkit if you really want to get into this commercially, but relatively super cheap for like a virtual production solution. So yeah, we just update this project as often as possible and just do these streams every week, just running through like what we're adding to it. And it's just an attempt to just make this stuff a bit more achievable, you know, because these configs can get confusing, but if you can just download a project, get going, drop in your own person and see yourself in a 3D scene, or see the person you're filming in a 3D scene, then that's super fun, and then it's a bit easier to think about the environment and stuff like that. Also just got like cool blueprints like animation selectors and stuff. So animation selector here, it just takes all of the sequences in your level. It's got preset sequences, which is actually the way the level is set up. You've got level sequences for camera moves as well, so these are all just different camera shots. And then you've got a stinger sequence, which I was showing you the stinger a second ago. It's kind of covering the screen. And those are all queued up. And if you have this blueprint and this blueprint in your level, sorry, that blueprint, but then you also have this pawn class. This is like your controller. So this is another blueprint that it speaks to. And if this is also set as your game mode, then you can just have any level sequences that you've made in your level. And then on the 1, 2, 3, 4, how many? 4 key, 1, 2, 3, 4 key. Might add in some more than 4, but yeah, you can just switch through these on a button push. So it's kind of set up for you. Then you got the P key, is just another level sequence thing, but it's just kind of for changing the layout of the room as well. Just figuring out ways you can just do fun stuff with these virtual studios, you know, make it just want to make the whole setup of it easier, because this, you know, this can be a really long process, getting the keying and everything and getting your media looking nice. So just make it a bit easier to just drop in, and then you can get on with like doing fun stuff in the level, you know. I'm gonna make a laser controllable something board, hook it up to Ableton. Sounds cool. Sounds amazing. So what, making sounds compared making sounds based on where you're pointing the laser? Sounds cool. I've basically just been having so much fun with just getting lists of things that are in the level and then controlling them all at once. I think that's just been the main satisfying thing for me. Just like things like this where you can just set up all the different lights and stuff. And it's like even that simple bit of logic and just having that click in my head and being able to create stuff within that kind of logic, it actually just, you just end up having all these ideas, you know. What is an ESP32 keyboard? That's like just like a light up. Ooh, cool. Kind of got Stream Deck vibes. Got a little Arduino, nice. Oh, cool. But it's hard to hook Unreal into it, is it? Very cool, very cool. Has the ESP32 got the sensor built in? Is it? You can set your environment lighting based on temperature. Very cool. Serial input. Is that like inputting a serial number and it recognizing that? Can't wait for this to be all clean and tidy. Oh really? Serial data. Rustic. Rustic is gonna be. Love that. Yeah. This is why you get a save all prompt before changing level. Ooh, yeah, I've been streaming for an hour now, so I'm gonna shoot off for this week. Really nice to see some new faces in here. Nice to see people interested. Please do join the Discord to join our awesome community of people just sharing amazing notes on virtual production stuff and just general media in and out of Unreal Engine stuff. So much to do. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And yeah, catch you next week. Should have some more to update on. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.